I was a theater major at USC. I went there in like '89, and the reason why I didn't go into music was because just the approach that how I learned how to play piano. I mean, it was very strict upbringing. You know, I had to sit down at the piano with a buzzer on the stove, and like it would start at 30 minutes. I went to an hour every single day. I remember leaving. I remember leaving piano lessons. Sometimes I would be crying. I mean, it's okay, but it was more of a conservatory style, and it was just. I feel like back in the day, um, it was just a different approach, but it was forced. It was forced on me. So like, it was there was a condition. Like if I didn't practice the piano, or then it was an if then thing. And so when I was, thinking about what I was going to be doing, like when I was going to go to school, or like going to music school was not even on my mind because it was so fucking forced and shoved down my throat at such a young age that so I chose theater, and I was a theater major, and um, uh, it was amazing because theater is so in parallel with music, and I studied um, acting. Like I majored in acting, you know, and then after school, um, my wife and I actually we studied at Playhouse West, which is a renowned theater under Sanford Meisner's technique. And so there was Meisner technique on the West Coast, and then there was Stellar Adler's school on the East Coast of New York. And so the whole basis is method acting, right? Being in the moment, which is I feel like it's important in life, but whatever. So the method acting thing is being in the moment. So, like, for example, if you're reading a script and it says you need to cry here or whatever, rather than faking it, there are strategies that you could emotionally prepare for that scene, so that when you're, you know, stating your lines again, when you get into that moment, you'll cry naturally. And so the Stellar Adler school thought was more real. Like go back into your life if you were like, if you were beat or whatever, like something, tap into something real in your life that can bring you to cry, for example, right? So Sanford Meisner came along and he goes, well, that could be dangerous, right? Because tapping back into those memories could be dangerous. So what Sanford Meisner did, which was brilliant, was he utilized imagination in his school of thought. So imagine, for example, let's say it's a Jason Bourne movie, or what something, whatever, a movie where there's a gnarly scene, and your character needs to be like, feel a certain way. So the Meisner technique is for like a few minutes for the scene, you go almost in a meditative state. You close your eyes for the scene, and you imagine, like, let's say that I'm gonna go kill this person or whatever because I'm this, dark dude in Batman or something, right? So you go in and you emotionally prepare to get into that sort of persona. And so what would happen is that one of the best acting coaches ever that ran Playhouse West, Jeff Goldblum, actually ran it on Sundays too. Like he's a part of that, right? So the exercises are like this. The class is there, and so there's two people, right? It's called a door and an activity. So someone's doing an activity, right? Like I could be reading a book or whatever, or knitting, or cooking. And so someone's doing an activity, emotionally prepared. So like so you emotionally prepare to do the activity, and then let's say I'm doing the activity. I'll be like cooking or whatever, but I'm fucking pissed, like I'm pissed off or I'm happy, like whatever. I have a situation going on while I'm doing the activity. And then the other actor knocks on the door. So that's the door. They're coming into the room. They're emotionally prepared. Let's say they went to Red Rocks and had a shitty show, and on the fucking way back, they, you know, got in a car accident. And so they knock on the door, and then the actor doing the activity opens the door, come in the room, emotionally prepared, boom, there it is, there's the scene, right? And then that's the improv, that's the in the moment scene. And if you're lucky enough to actually pull it off, the coach will not stop the scene early. And so if something goes awry, then it stops. And then after that, then you switch. Then I'll do the activity, and then the other person in the exercise does the door. And it's just all about living in the moment, like living in the moment and just being open to just feeling, just being in the moment. I feel like a lot of people they either live in the past or the future, but I feel like life is about living in the moment and just how to deal with the moment, because it's a beautiful thing. And then parallels to music, because when you're playing live music, you're in the moment.